Okay, good morning. It's 10 a.m. We ask you to please rise if you're able for the opening prayer and the pledge of allegiance before we begin our Commission's public meeting. Dear Heavenly Father, on Saturday we'll celebrate Flag Day, ratified 248 years ago by the United States Congress. Our flag has withstood the test of time through battles, wars, and conflicts. The U.S. flag has been every part of the globe. It was firmly planted on the face of the moon. The flag flies with a backdrop of the skies and the heaven. And we look towards those skies and know that you've created us in your creation. 50 stars fell from those skies to represent a nation under yoke. The red in our flag stands for the blood that was shed for our freedom, reminded of your son's blood that was shed for our eternal freedom. The white is the purity of a nation, such as you purified us. The blue signifies the diligence, perseverance, and justice. May we always stand for the flag, knowing that our freedoms are not free, and let us pledge allegiance to the flag, our heart to the soldier who defends it, and our lives to you who sacrificed it all for us. Lord, also on Saturday, we'll celebrate the 250th birthday of the U.S. Army. What started as a mostly volunteer group stands today at over 1 million men and women on active duty, and an additional 800,000 reserve and National Guardmen. 15 U.S. presidents have served in the United States Army. We thank those that answered the call to serve our nation, protect our freedoms. May your hand be over our active military personnel for protection and safety. This Sunday, we'll celebrate Father's Day. We thank you for a father that has been blessed with the gift of a child. The responsibility of a father is a vital and important part of the family that you instituted in this life. Guide these men to be good role models and a solid foundation for their children. And Lord, we thank you for those men that have taken on the role of a father in many families. We know how critical it is for the development of that child to have those men in their lives. Give them the strength and wisdom as they plant down foundation for the youth. We see a small part of those foundations with some of our local high school softball and baseball teams. As those memories and friendships have been made, they continue through with them as they mature and grow into the next season of life. We pray for their continued success in each of their lives. And we pray for your guidance and wisdom over our meeting this day. These things we humbly pray in your name. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We got a pinch hitter. Vote to approve our new solicitor.
Okay, good morning. This time we'll convene our Commissioners' public meeting and ask for approval of the minutes of the previous meeting.
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, do we have any public comment on agenda items only at this time? Any online?
Nothing online.
Okay, moving on to bid openings. Nikki.
Good morning. We have
Morning.
one bid. It is for the built-in dishwashers. We received one bid, Sam Tell and Son Incorporated, $3,252.57.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, moving on to reports.
Commissioners, presented for your ratification are invoices due through June 18th, 2025 to be paid on June 11th, 2025 in the amount of $1,887,182.83. Out of the general fund, that's 27.63%. Other grants, 63.77%, RMS is 8.19%, and escrow is 0.41%.
Okay, thank you. Motion to accept the accounts payable.
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
Any comments or questions on accounts payable? Okay, hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you, Nikki. Yeah. Okay, under informational highlights, we have Amy from the library. Welcome.
Morning.
Morning. Have an update.
Oh, I do. And you know, I love my handouts, so I brought them.
Thank you.
Oh, good morning, commissioners. Good morning, everyone. It's so nice to see you all today. First, I want to thank the commissioners for giving me a few minutes on the agenda today. As many of you know, I'm Amy Resch. I'm the Assistant Administrator for the Lycoming County Library System, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer and Director for the James B. Brown Library. And I wanted to start off by thanking the County Commissioners for supporting library service. Recently, we partnered with Blast IU to offer Remake Learning Days. And this is an initiative that we started last year and we continued it this year. And this year, across the county, we offered over 50 programs in 22 days. And that was absolutely amazing. They were super well attended by people in our community. And I wanted to highlight a few of those programs. So the Hughesville Area Public Library partnered with Blast to borrow 3 dozen Ozbots for coding and problem solving. The James B. Brown Library welcomed a paleontologist, Mike and Roberta Stratka, for a presentation where 65 attendees explored Ice Age creatures and early humans. The Jersey Shore Public Library had the Histories Mysteries program, where children participated in an archaeological dig using toothbrushes, and they revealed dinosaur bones. The W.B. Conkle Memorial Library was grateful for Commissioner Metzger's visit to the Budding Builders program, where children play together, so they learn life skills, and then they get to build anything that they can imagine. The Montgomery Area Public Library hosted 12 families at the System Shared event with Centered Earth, and during this event, they hosted a teen ambassador from Blast. And the person that attended was really excited because they didn't realize that libraries have so much more than just books. So they were really excited to come and learn more about all the different ways that libraries are supporting education and literacy. And then the rocket science program at the Muncie Public Library was really fantastic because the children got to create rocket ships. And then they got to see how they could be launched. And thank you to Commissioner Messina for attending that event at the Muncie Library. So as most of you know, coming up is one of the most important times of the year, summer learning. One of the things that libraries are instrumental in is keeping children from experiencing the summer slide. The summer slide is really something that impacts a lot of children because they don't have a lot of opportunities for learning and education at home over the summer. And libraries are really important to make sure that these children don't encounter that. So we are encouraging learning and literacy and reading. And I wanted to just mention a few of the programs that we're going to have. As many of you received the Sun Gazette, we had the summer learning insert, and it is absolutely massive. So I do have extras if you're interested. And it's this thick piece of paper right here. And the commissioners have a copy as well. And it highlights all of the programs that we're having this summer. Each of our member libraries is hosting Clyde Peeling's Reptile Land. And we're really excited to partner with them because we know that visiting Reptile Land can be very expensive for some families. So we're bringing the reptiles to the library. So each of our libraries is hosting one of those events. Additionally, the Hughesville Area Public Library is hosting Science Heroes on June 17th. The James B. Brown Library is hosting an offsite art exhibit at the gallery for PCT on July 10th. Jersey Shore Public Library is hosting Soaring Spirits Parrot Sanctuary on July 10th. The Conk Memorial Library is hosting Messy Art Day on July 29th and 30th. Montgomery Area Public Library is hosting its 4th annual Fun with Firefighters at the Montgomery Heritage Park with the Muncie Public Library on July 12th. And the Muncie Library is hosting its Color Me series, which is all about science and art, and they're doing that all summer long. So a lot of those details are in the summer learning, we call it the tab, in the summer learning tab, which was in the newspaper. I also have a couple other handouts that I don't want to get lost in the shuffle. The one is the quarterly review, and that's from January through May 2025. And I always like to highlight the statistic, how much residents are saving because of library service, which I think is really important. So we're only a few months into the year, and Lycoming County Library System has already saved residents almost $3 million. And that's only in physical materials. So if you like to use Libby, which is your ebooks and your e-audiobooks, that's not included. If your library offers access to Hoopla, doesn't include that. And that also doesn't include Power Library, which is a lot of great resources that you can access with your library card that's paid for through IMLS funding. So there's a lot of great things there. So that's $26 per resident. And that's not everybody has a library card. Only about 50% of residents have a library card. So we think that that really highlights our value to the community. And obviously the summer is already booming. We are having so many holds pulled. Bill Ruffing, our delivery driver, is busy all over the county, making sure that everyone has access to those materials that they're looking for. And the last thing I wanted to highlight is the James B. Brown Summer Learning Passport. So this is what the James B. Brown Library is doing this year to get kids and families and adults excited for programs. And we're starting to give this out on Saturday, June 14th from 10 to 2. We're also doing a Hiawatha visit and some other really cool stuff. And all of that is in that. And the whole purpose of that is for families to color those items. So the last thing I want to end with is because of your ongoing support of library service, we're really happy to announce that 100% of county residents will have access to library service, either a brick and mortar building or one of our outreach vehicles or the library link. 100% of county residents will have access this summer. So we're really excited about that because that means that our patrons won't have to go very far in order to access what we offer. And all of the outreach vehicles have Wi-Fi, which, as you know, in some of the rural areas, it is so expensive and it's so prohibitive to get access to that. And we are continuing to share all the information about the county's, oh my gosh, I just lost it. The broadband survey, thank you. So the last thing I wanted to share is recently we were informed at one of our outreach stops that a house fire caused a 4-year-old and a 3-year-old sisters to lose everything they owned. And they were really missing their books. And so on a recent visit to their school, the Lycoming County Library System vehicle brought them a little piece of normalcy, and they were able to check out materials. And they and their classmates were all gifted a copy of the PA1 book, which is sponsored through IMLS funding, Arlo Draws an Octopus. So that is also going to be the first book that the system is highlighting at its book walk, which is being installed in Lewis Township, the first one in the county. So I wanted to thank the trustees and directors that are here today. We have Rick Mirabito from the James B. Brown Library. We have Penny Johnson and Christy Forsman from the Hughesville Area Public Library. We have Diane Eck from the Jersey Shore Public Library. We have Larry Stout from the Montgomery Area Public Library. Robin DeGiratu, Assistant Director for the James B. Brown Library. And of course, Commissioner Mark Messina from the Lycoming County Library System. Do you have any questions?
I have a question for Mr. Stout. I see your event down in Montgomery. Are you gonna have a dunk tank down there?
I don't know about that.
Would you come and pay for that?
I think it was a recommendation.
Well, thank you for each one of the libraries for what you do for the community. We do have a fantastic library system throughout the state,
We do.
and it's one of the best. And We appreciate every one of them and working on shoestring budgets and what they do for the community.
I think what's important to know, that I mention this every time you're here, is, the general consensus of the library is where people go to get books. And when you hear the programs that are done through our library system, it's just so much more than that. But even above and beyond the educational, so much stuff now has to be done online. And as you mentioned, for that sector of society that either doesn't have internet access or has trouble getting internet access. And I just found this out within the last week. I went in because I wanted to research something that it predated Google, because back when the Sun Gazette wasn't online. And I went to the lady there and I said, this is how old I said, do you still have microfilm and microfiche? And she said, well, what are you looking for? And I said, in the Sun. She said, all of our Sun Gazettes are digital. And in about 3 minutes, she showed me how to do it, which was incredibly simple. And now I've been back there again, and you can look up anything you ever want, and I don't know what else has been digitalized. The Sun Gazette is the one I needed, and it's our local paper. So, but all the way back to 1778, and it cost me a quarter page of anything I wanted to print, but I could read it for free. I could access everything for free, and it was incredibly simple to use. Simple enough that I only had to ask for help once. But I had no idea. And I remember that, a lot of us remember the days of microfilm and microfiche when you're going through, and this was just so much easier and so much better. And it's the first time I've ever actually sat at a computer at the library, because I've always been there for other aspects. And it was fantastic. And it is not just the JSV, but all of our 6 locations. It's so much more than just a place to go check out a book. Educational stuff for the kids is always good. The entertainment stuff for the adults is always good, but there are those vital things. And what I was looking up was far from vital, but there are those people of society that need it. And wonderful job, and we are blessed to have it.
Thank you.
You mentioned educational, and the event I went to at the Conco Library, the kids were using Play-Doh, and they were learning about with batteries and electric currents and how electric currents can run. And, watching the things light up as the connections were made, and seeing their creativity and what they were building, but at the same time, they were being educated on electricity. And it's just neat. And it's just to get the programs are not. They built rocket ships and they learn some stuff, but it's just to get the kid in the habit of going to the library, being familiar with the library, and they want to go back and they understand what's there. I know I've said it, I was not a library person until I had kids, and my ex was a voracious reader, and she was in the library all the time, and then our kids were in the library all the time. And just the books, but the programs have also were so incredibly beneficial to their educational development. And I've seen it now. My youngest just graduated high school, so they're all you could just tell, and their love of learning is really what you're trying to inspire, and that's what the library can do. It's not like, oh, what did I learn in this book? It's just the love of learning and the curiosity, and the children's programs are really the children's programs and what they do for the sector of society that needs internet access and needs all that stuff are really what make you guys vital to our community. Sure.
What amazes me is that today's society that we still have 6 locations. I think that's phenomenal. And it comes with a big thanks to your staff and your volunteers that make that happen. Without them, it just amazes me that we're still able to maintain six facilities. That's awesome.
It is wonderful. And, I think that's one of the things that people, they talk about the programs and the books, and it's so much more than that now. There are so few third places where people can just come and be and exist in society. And one of the things that we're seeing now is, kids and teens don't know how to interact with each other. They're learning those social graces, shall we say. And that's really important stuff too, because that is something you learn over time. But thank you again for supporting libraries, for attending programs. I hope you know how much we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Notice Scott went to the one with the Play-Doh. Did you notice that?
It sounds like you had a great time.
I did.
I went to the rocket science and he went to the Play-Doh.
You're not, I guarantee you're no rocket scientist.
All right, moving to 4.2 information item. That's me. Acknowledge that the county is requesting bids for the zoning hearing board solicitor services. And 4.3, Mike Hagan.
Morning, Mike.
Good morning. Let's see, we have 3 elected official personnel actions in the clerk of courts, Mandy Schultz, criminal processing clerk, pay grade 4, full-time at $16.606 per hour, 75 hours per pay period, anticipated start date, June 16th, 2025. And then in the controller's office, Noah Hunt, accountant 1, pay grade 9, full-time, $46,315.0584 per year, 75 hours per pay period, effective date, May 25, 2025. And also in the controller's office, Tony Hennigan, AP payroll specialist, pay grade 6, full-time, $19.757 per hour, 75 hours per pay period with an anticipated start date, June 23rd, 2025.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. This time we will recess our commissioners' public meeting for the salary board and convene the salary board this time. Nikki,
Good morning.
morning.
First item I have is vote to approve the salary board minutes from the June 5th, 2025 meeting.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All fair side?
Aye. In the prison, increase starting pay of nurse supervisor to $35 an hour.
Motion,
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
all fair side?
Aye. Also in the prison, reclassify 1 sergeant position, pay grade 9, to a sergeant/training coordinator position, pay grade 10.
Motion,
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
all fair side?
Aye. In the district attorney's office, reclassify deputy assistant district attorney to pay grade 13, currently at pay grade 12.
Motion,
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
all fair side?
Aye. Lastly, rename the clerk 3, pay grade 4, to a legal assistant, pay grade 4, title change only.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
all fair side?
Aye.
I'd like to just make a quick comment. You know, the district attorney, the first one of reclassifying the pay grade was based upon what other like positions in the county were. So it's just one of the things that we're fixing some things that were wrong in the past to make it more equally the same throughout the county. And of course, my favorite is renaming the clerk names to what they actually do, because I think that creates a lot of confusion when it comes down to people's pay and what their responsibilities are. The word clerk was used way too much across our county and did not identify what the person actually did. I think that calling somebody a legal assistant hones in on what their actual job is. So I appreciate those changes.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, regarding the district attorney's position, we saw an inconsistency that we figured that was only appropriate to fix it. And so that's why it went to a 13 to be consistent with another position. Very similar type duties. At this time, you have any comments?
Nope.
Okay. We'll adjourn the salary board this time and reconvene the commissioners' public meeting.
All right, move into action items. Gary, you have 6.1 through 6.3.
Morning, Gary.
Morning.
Action item 6.1, vote to approve the agreement with March Technology. This is a budgeted item for 2025. March Technologies, who we use on an as-needed basis for like the stuff for like our SCADA system and things like that.
Okay, a motion.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All fair side?
Aye.
Aye.
Action item 6.2, vote to approve agreement with Davis Almer Sprinkler Company, also a 2025 budgeted item. And they are the ones that inspect, test our fire suppression system, especially down at our recycling building.
Motion to accept.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All fair side?
Aye.
Aye.
Action item 6.3, vote to approve the purchase of odor control product from Croft Chemical in the amount of $20,794.80. The 2025 budgeted item. So basically what that is, if you've been to our site, see pipes strung across the litter fence around the perimeter. We have 4 different enclosed trailers at each certain stations. And this chemical gets metered into the system, and it neutralizes the odors as you drive by our landfill. Try to keep the odors down, keep in compliance, keep the neighbors happy.
Yeah, very important. So motion to accept.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second, but I'll make a comment. It sounds like a lot of money, but I'm sure that the residents of Montgomery are thrilled that we use this to. we can
Well,
pull that
I'll
out.
say I'm shocked at how there is no odor when you drive by. Like you drive by and you can't tell if there's a landfill there. It is.
No, you never know.
It is.
It does work.
It
It's
works.
supposed to
It works
neutralize.
really
Sometimes
well.
you can get a smell of this. It's like a cinnamon type smell, but it's designed to neutralize the smell rather than mask it.
It does really well. It is impressive.
Mr. Stout, you live over by there. Mr. Stout, you live over by there.
Yes, and the wind seemed to go opposite us anyway, but yes, it's been good.
Good, good. Okay, good to hear. Thank you. Okay, motion to accept.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 And
Thanks.
Gary, while you're still here, I just wanted to make a quick comment. So Gary has been filling in now for approximately a month as our interim director at the landfill, the RMS Recycling and Landfill Center. He has just been doing a phenomenal job. I wanted to recognize you in the public. Everybody's heard and read, that we're losing money at that facility, and Gary has worked tirelessly so far at correcting a lot of the wrongs and making that come back around. So we appreciate the
Yeah.
effort you put in, Gary.
Yeah, and with that, I have some good help down there helping me. Without them and
Exactly. It takes a team, but
Yeah.
it takes direction from one individual to help that team. And I think
Appreciate
you've stepped up and done a phenomenal job.
Thank you.
No, and to echo what Mark just said, we're just trying to figure this out. We don't have the answers either, and you've been great to work with, and as we sit down at the table and like, what about this and what about that? Like it's been really refreshing, and we feel like we're certainly in the right direction.
Thank you.
So
Yep, thank you very much, Gary.
Thank you.
And please express our thanks to the staff.
I will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Nancy, 6-4.
Good morning, Commissioners. Juvenile Probation is asking for your approval for Summit School doing business as Summit Academy. And they do have some rate increases, but one was 4% and the other 3 were 3%.
Okay, motion to accept.
I'll make the motion.
A second.
All fair side.
Aye.
Aye.
And 6.5, we're asking for your approval for community specialists doing business as New Outlook Academy. They are also 4% and 3% increases for the 2025-26 contracting season.
Okay, motion to accept.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All fair side. Aye. Aye.
And then 6.6, we're asking for your approval for the 25-26 Cornell Nebraska contract. The Braxis one, the DNA mail treatment really went up, and so did the intensive residential and the female DNA, but the rest of them are, I don't know, we took a hit on this one, guys.
Motion to accept.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All fair side.
Aye.
All right, thank you, Commissioners. Have a good
Hey,
day.
Nancy? Nancy?
Yes.
Before
Yeah.
you leave, we have a young man in our audience today. He's working on his Eagle Scout project, and could you kind of explain a little bit what you do and what your role is?
My role, I do all the administrative fiscal. contracting, and files for juvenile probation.
Thank you.
Anything fiscal, I do it.
We appreciate it. You do a great job. We call
Thank
Nancy the
you.
great negotiator. She's the one that gets the contracts and beats these agencies over the head and says, no, we're not accepting that kind of a increase. We got to work a little bit better on this deal. And she brings it to the table and does a great job. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Yeah. Okay,
You have a good day.
you too.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, Chuck, good morning. You want to introduce yourself, what you do?
Good morning. I'm Chuck Kiesling. I'm the Lycoming County Coroner, and what don't we do?
Keep people alive.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. So, yeah, we're involved in a lot of activities, as the commissioners know over the years, and we're heading towards bringing all of our activities under one roof in another 4 or 5 months here. So, that'll be nice. We not only investigate deaths, we do a lot of injury prevention programs in the community to try and prevent the tragedies that we unfortunately have dealt with recently. So, yeah, so that's kind of what we do. Good morning, commissioners. I'm here just to bring up the vote for approval of the agreement with Advanced Detection Solutions. We voted last week for putting in the CT scanner in the new building. This is just the agreement that will help extend the warranty to second and third year. So we maintain the preventative maintenance on that equipment and, keep us cost free as far as the equipment goes for the next 3 years. So,
Okay, thank you, Chuck.
thank you.
Motion to accept.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All fair side?
We want to thank you guys again for, as you know, there have been some local tragedies lately, and the professionalism that you guys handle this stuff with and your staff that most of us could not do. And it's sometimes your work is truly heartbreaking, and it is we've been reminded it's been a rough spring, and so we thank you for the way that you guys go about your business, even because sometimes it's the worst business.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Emily.
Morning, Commissioners. Item 6.8, seeking your approval for the amendment, the second amendment to the agreement with Barton and Lojudas and Engineering Services. This is a 2025 approved budgeted item. This is for Barton Lojudas to continue their consultant work with the regional solid waste plan throughout the duration of the project.
Okay, motion to accept.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All fair side?
Thank you.
Lee, could you explain a little bit what you do?
I am a community economic development planner, primarily working on grant management and project management. One noteworthy project other than the solid waste plan, which involves with the disposal capacity and recycling capacity for the landfill. That's with 4 other counties in the region. And then another project is our broadband study, which is extending and implementing broadband services to unserved and underserved communities and population throughout the county. Other programs such as FAIR, so housing programs, and the organizations that allow services to subsidize communities and populations within our county.
Okay, thank you, Malik.
Thank you.
Okay, Maya.
Yep, I have 6.9 through 6.13. So the first time I have 6.9, it's vote to approve the agreement with Lycoming Abstract Company. This is just a renewal. I am on, it's just my mobile phone. Can you hear me now?
No.
Speak up. All right. This is
Pretend you're talking to one of your kids. when you're-
That's what I was just gonna say. I was gonna say, pretend you're yelling at your husbands.
That's when you're not happy.
This is for ongoing litigation services, and they're helping assist in this area with OGM, which is title abstracting services as needed by the commissioners.
Motion to accept.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All fair side?
Aye. The problem is Maya's always happy with her kids.
I
Always.
am, for the most part. Not this summer right now, we're in day two.
Yeah, how is summer starting? Is it so far so good?
There's tears because they're bored, you know.
We'll change that. You're not having the commissioners.
I'm never that. My next item is vote to approve resolution 2025-12 for the sale of surplus property. We are actually getting disposed of through auction our Smith Detection Security X-ray machine that was previously in the courthouse, and we're just going to sell that to the highest bidder.
Okay, thank you. Motion to accept.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The next item, vote to approve the agreement with Susquehanna Fire Protection in the amount of $1,505.80. This is just for the kitchen hood inspection that's needed out at the pre-release in prison.
Okay, so it's for the prison and PRC.
Yeah, I think let me look. Sometimes they combine, sometimes they don't. This one, I think we just did for the kitchen hood. Yeah, it's just for the kitchen hood inspection. So this is just one. They'll probably separate the other contract out for PRC.
Okay. It's vital that we make sure those hoods are inspected on a regular basis for safety reasons.
Yeah, that one's specific to the prison.
Okay. Motion to accept.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And my next item, 6.12, vote to approve the Radiation Emergency Response Fund Grant Agreement for fiscal year 25-26 with PEMA. It's in the amount of $7,413. This is a continual grant that we routinely get, and happy to report we received it again.
Good news. Okay. And motion to accept.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And the last item, a vote to award the bid for Blockhouse Little Pine Creek's Fish Habitat Enhancement Project to Darren Thompson Excavating. It's in the amount of $20,375. They were the lowest bidder, and this is 100% grant funded through the CAP projects.
Okay, good news.
Yep.
Okay, motion to accept.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And Mike, can you explain a little bit what your duties are?
Sure. Director of Financial Management, and I oversee grants, purchasing, finances in coordination with the Controller's Office, and we do the budget as well.
Thank you so much.
So 7.0, we're Commissioner comment.
Anyone have anything?
Yeah, I'm going to follow up on Commissioner Messina's comments with the coroner's office and the unfortunate loss of life that we've had in the county over the last month in water recovery. Just a reminder to everybody, when you're out there, the water is high. We've had a lot of rain. The rain does not seem to be slowing down in the state of Pennsylvania. Life jackets, that's the number one thing. But the other thing that shows us about our community, which is why we're all thrilled to live in Lycoming County, and we all come together, and it was amazing. I happened to be driving through Montoursville when this last incident happened. I think it was Saturday morning around 11 o'clock, 10:30, 11 o'clock. The amount of people there helping already before even the first responders were getting there was amazing. And being able to read some of the items, a good friend of mine, Don Conkle, was there helping to cut some brush away and try to open up that waterway. That doesn't happen in every community. So it's great that we have volunteers, we have friendly people that we live amongst. And Don wasn't the only one. There were other people there. I just personally happen to know him. And but what a wonderful community we live in that reaches out and helps each other. So even though we've gone through a lot of tragedy, it also pulls us together to strengthen our community. So I appreciate watching that and seeing that. And again, it's all with tragedy. You hate to see the tragedy, but it's great to see the community come together.
Yeah, this isn't nearly as important, but as when just talking to Maya about her kids just reminded me of it. And like I said earlier, my youngest is 18 and just graduated high school. But we always talk about how fast they grow up, but also we remember how fast summer goes. And we get here, we're a week into summer or 2 weeks, however, whenever school got out for these people. And as I got older and into parenthood, I realized you put we have all summer, and you wake up, it's August, and you've got these things to do that you haven't done yet. So whether you want to go to a ball game, you want to go to Knoebels, you want to go to Hershey, you want to, just the day trip. I'm not talking about the elaborate family vacations, like, because those kind of get planned, but the other things of like, oh, we should do that, we should do that. As I got better at, we started banging some of these things out in June. And then because things tend to get piled up at the end and you push everything off and then you don't get to do it. So it does. Summer goes fast when you're a kid, summer goes fast when you're an adult. And do the things when you have the opportunities, because we're going to wake up again. It's going to be September and the kids are going to be back in school and it's all going to be over.
So you should take more time off.
Not you. Not you. Not you. Your kids want to hang out with your husband. That's what they want to take. No.
Actually,
And not to sound discouraging, but then one day you wake up and they're all gone.
Well, yeah.
And you're home alone.
That wasn't discouraging at all. That wasn't, not in the least. Not
Well, it
in
all
the
depends on how you see it, I guess, too.
Anything else?
least. No, I'm good.
Well, with the weather changing, I like to talk about the topic. It's extremely important. And if we ask for parents and guardians to please sit down and speak to their youth about bicycle safety and electric bike safety. Seen a lot of youth around the community that are not obeying traffic signals, stop signs, zipping through. Seen a couple very close accidents, especially with electric bikes. And we don't want a tragedy. The last thing we want to see is someone have to bury their child or be in the hospital because the child's been hit by a car. So we just ask you to please sit down with your child, express to them that it's fun being on a bicycle, it's fun being on an electric scooter or bicycle, but please stop at these signs and watch out for motorists
Wear a helmet.
and wear a helmet.
We got free helmet.
Yes, we have free helmets, to please wear a helmet, because even if a car darts out in front of them, they could lose control. They could land and hit their head and have a head injury. So please do that. And also with the motorcycles, please be alert with motorcycles. It's that time of year where a lot of people are on motorcycles, and we have a new distraction law, not to be on your phones. It's a new law in Pennsylvania, and it's a good law. It makes sense. So people aren't distracted with their phones. Please let your phone sit. There's nothing worthwhile to answer that phone, cause a catastrophe or an incident, someone being hit.
And keep the grass clippings out of the road for the motorcycles. They become. I also want to wish good luck. I think the South Williamsport girls have first pitch here in about 20 minutes. And of course, the Toursville boys are tomorrow at 1:30. So we're happy for those teams that are at State College now in the state finals, and best of luck to them. And it's going to be dry for 2 days in a row. So we're going to get games in.
And again, I'm gonna add, what an amazing community that we live in. We've had phenomenal amount of our sports teams that have gone to states this year. I mean, so we're doing something right as parents, teachers, coaches that are motivating these young athletes. What an amazing county to live in that we've had so many go so far. Yeah. So.
Any comments from the public? Yes. Morning.
Commissioners. My name is Bruce Clark. I live at 106 South Market Street in Muncie, Pennsylvania. As you all well know, on the 20th of May was primary election day here in the Commonwealth. At approximately 8:27 in the morning at my polling place at the First United Methodist Church in Muncie, I placed 2 political campaign signs. They were over 50 yards from the polling place entrance. In less than an hour, I got a phone call from a poll greeter for those 2 candidates stating that those 2 signs had been removed and returned to that poll greeter. Okay. Pennsylvania law on election day allows for political campaign signs to be on the property.
I don't mean to cut you off. Did they explain why they were removed? Did you get an
Yes,
explanation?
the church is explained to that poll greeter that they were worried about their 501c3 status.
The church was.
The churches.
Uh,
This is a problem throughout the county. There's been numerous incidents of, polling places not allowing political signs to be campaign signs be placed on the property on election days. I've been in contact with one of the Board of Election personnel. That individual has not gotten back to me and said they would shortly. This is a violation of my First Amendment rights. I'm allowed to place signs no closer than 10 feet of a polling place entrance. That is the law of the Commonwealth. The Board of Elections, along with the county commissioners, needs to step up and put an end to this. There's one place that won't even allow anyone on their property to hand out, flyers or post signs. I'm not the only one who's ran into this, but we keep running into a stone wall. Voter services won't do anything about it. They're aware of it. And I've been told point blank, I'm not going to do anything. And that's from the head of voter services. So you're looking at, if you don't do something, gentlemen, you're looking at lawsuits because our First Amendment rights are at stake. And I do thank you for your time.
no, we'll talk. During the election, I never had any problem at any polling place putting signs.
All my years I didn't, but I did talk to Mr. Clark about this situation and I think we need some clarification on the 503.
Right.
The stuff that these guys have, but I'm not a lawyer, as I said to Mr. Clark when I spoke with him. But I think the fact that we technically rent or take over that facility for the day as voter services.
There's no way it can be
that
a
it
violation.
should not affect their status.
I mean, I'm not a lawyer either, but there's no way it can be a violation. No, so you're right. We need a better clarification with these. I would have never even thought that a building, whatever the building was, would be afraid of some sort of negative ramification fiscally or any other way. I mean, there's people who don't want signs, but if you're hosting the polling, then you're obviously on board. I would have never thought that somebody would be concerned about a legal aspect to their entity. So yeah, we'll have to look into that. There's no way that can be.
Well, in my situation, Commissioner, the pastor is aware of the law. He just doesn't care. And he has said that personally. He doesn't care. He does not want them on his property. But for that election day, it is not his property. It's just like a renter. If a person rents a house and they are, committing crimes in that house, law has the full responsibility to go in there and enforce the law. Does the homeowner be held responsible? No, that is a rented lease. Therefore, they are legally responsible as the renter or leaser, not the homeowner.
Bruce, we'll talk to the
Yeah, we'll
director of voters and see what,
Well, Commissioner, not to be crass, but you got to hold his feet to the fire and you got to make him do it. He's aware of this problem. He's been made aware of it for years and won't do anything unless the Board of Elections and the commissioners do something and say, this is what you will do. You don't have a choice. He is going to ignore it. And that's just point blank.
all right. Yeah, we'll talk. We appreciate you bringing it to our attention.
You're welcome, Commissioner.
thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Any other public comments, Chris? Thank you. Okay. Any online?
We have several comments from Thomas Adam. There's some that's more of a national type comment, not necessarily Lycoming County comment, but there are but which we will make record of. But the ones that are Lycoming County related, he does state that please everyone deciding to enter our waterways and bodies of water, wear life vests. Please use all caution and never go on waters alone. And then, like I said, there's other comments. If you would like me to read them, I can, but they're
No, only if they're kind of.
yeah.
we'll make them up, no, no,
Make
on the
them on the
record.
meeting minutes, yeah.
Yeah, on the minutes. Okay. Any other comments? Okay, we want to thank everybody for attending. We have a young man here today who's working on his merit badge for Eagle Scout. And we're glad he joined us here today and hopefully he learned a few things and he's going to follow up with some conversations and interviews. An Eagle Scout is a very difficult, prestigious status of the scouting system to achieve. It takes a lot of hard work and dedication. So we're glad that he's here with us today and working on that. So best wishes to you and good luck, and we'll look forward to further conversations. Thank you. Okay.
I'm not sure he knew anybody in politics that he could talk to. So
I was gonna say, at your age, you're allowed to still be sleeping at this time. If your dad tries to get you out of bed, you can refuse.
That's true. I have a 50.
You can refuse that. You have rights.
Thanks a lot. The old man has rights too.
Okay, we've completed our agenda, so we'll be adjourned till June 19th.